We know that practicing self-forgiveness can really improve our well-being and truly decrease the amount of suffering that we experience during our life. Yet so many of us really struggle with being able to forgive ourselves. So today we're going to talk about how we can learn to heal our guilt and shame by the practice of self-forgiveness and why it's so important that we do. Stick around. Welcome back. My name's Nena and I'm a life coach that specializes in personal development. Here at this channel we talk all about our emotional well-being, understanding our own psychology, and leading our best life possible. So if you aren't already a subscriber, please take a moment and become one. We definitely want you to stay connected. The first thing that we have to do is to have self-compassion and to realize also that we only need to forgive ourselves for things that we actually had control over or things that we were actually responsible for. So much of the time we hold guilt for things that we couldn't have controlled, or things that we didn't really know enough about, or that we didn't ask for to happen, or we ourselves did not do. So that means so much of the guilt that we experience isn't even warranted or deserved. However, if you are feeling in your particular situation that you are not able to forgive yourself because of something that you did, or you feel that you should have done differently, then today's video is for you, because self-forgiveness could not be more important. It is difficult to make true progress in our life when we are constantly punishing ourselves by reliving past failures and painful situations. When we hold on to these negative emotions, it can harm our self-esteem and keep us from becoming a better version of ourselves. So often we are able to forgive other people, but we find it very difficult to do the same for ourselves. But when we do forgive ourselves, we can improve our mental and physical health, foster feelings of self-worth, and experience higher levels of concentration, focus, productivity, and success. It can positively benefit our relationships, reduce our blood pressure, reduce our stress levels, even our body pains, and it can increase the motivation and happiness that we feel in our life. But I want you to walk away from this video today knowing one fundamental truth, which is that you need to learn to forgive yourself no matter what. And I know I've heard it all before. Maybe you think what you did was unforgivable, unacceptable, completely in opposition to your belief system and your morals, and it is something that you feel is not worthy of forgiveness. I understand that, I've heard that all before, but it is simply not true. In fact, all of us make mistakes, and we will continue to make mistakes as long as we live. So today we are going to talk about the 4 R's of self-forgiveness. These are responsibility, remorse, restoration, and renewal. These key actions can lead us on a true path of getting past events that we can no longer change. So let's go ahead and talk about all the different stages that are actually involved in this process of self-forgiveness. Now, the first part of this is accepting responsibility. This means that we have to acknowledge and admit whatever happened, and we need to stop making excuses for it. Now, a lot of times, a lot of guilt will come up during this part of the process, and that is normal and a lot of times inescapable and a lot of times appropriate. However, this guilt is not a prison sentence. We need to think of it as more of like a springboard for making positive progress in our life. The second thing we have to do is realize that just because we made this mistake, it does not mean that we are a bad person. This has nothing to do with self-worth. We can still be a valuable and worthwhile good person that happened to make a particular mistake, which is exactly what happened. The third part of the process is to try to make amends where we can. And this is not always possible, but it is extremely important that we exhaust every possibility that we can think of. So we definitely want to express remorse. We want to apologize. We want to see if there is anything that we can possibly do to rectify the situation, even if it's something very small, is going to help us to feel a lot better. The fourth part of the process process is to focus on any possible lessons that we learned by going through this terrible experience and by making this mistake in the first place. Certainly, our mistakes are some of our best and strongest teachers in our life, and our mistakes can really help to shift our paradigm. It can also show us what our value system is and what our morals are, and really help us to understand what we can do to prevent making this type of mistake in the future. But there are always lessons that can be learned, and the more that we can take from this experience, the more it can make us feel a little better about going through it, because we feel that we really gained some very helpful information for the future. And the fifth part of the process is to focus on making positive changes in our life, which is really the most important part, because we want to become a better version of ourselves. So we want to take these lessons that we learn and put them into action. So not only we don't make the same mistakes again in our life, but we are actually moving forward as a person, and we are living a life that we are really proud of, and we are keeping ourselves from repeating past failures. Remember, like I said, it is impossible to move forward in life without making some mistakes. We will always make mistakes, but we cannot be a prisoner to those mistakes and constantly feel that we have to punish ourselves for these things that happened in the past. We can constantly work to become that better version of ourselves, to make better choices, and to always be learning more about life. We don't come into this world with a rule book, with a guidebook. We're just kind of doing the best we can, and these mistakes are expected to happen. So make no mistake, you are absolutely not only deserving of self-forgiveness, it is important that you practice self-forgiveness for your own emotional well-being and your own mental health. So I truly hope this video was helpful to you in this process, and if it was, please like it, share it with someone else who may need to hear the same message today, and also do become a subscriber if you aren't one already. We definitely want you to stay connected, and I thank you so much for spending time with me today. Have an absolutely amazing day.